Let's go ahead and bring onto the stage Marnie Levine, General Manager of TikTok Commerce. Marnie was formerly at Meta, working on their commerce team. Before that, eBay. Before that, Zulily. This is a true e-commerce legend and officially the person responsible for TikTok Shop US. So it's really great to have Marnie here. Marnie, I will go ahead and let you take it away.
Thank you, Derek. A commerce legend. I'll take it. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it. Yes. So as Derek said, I have been in the commerce business for legends for almost 30 years. And so I'm thrilled to be here and partnering with NetSuite and Pipe 17. And of course, our fabulous partners of Manscaped and ColorWow, who are finding success on TikTok Shop. And so I'm thrilled to take you through a little bit about what TikTok Shop means, how to elevate your brand, how to grow your business, and meet a whole new customer base on TikTok. So with that, I think in the video, you saw the hashtag TikTok made me buy it, which is really such a fascinating situation that we saw and we found ourselves in here at TikTok Shop. The hashtag TikTok made me buy it has over 78 billion views, which is incredible when you think about it, and growing. Actually, that 78 billion was a stat from a couple of weeks ago, so I bet you it's even out of date already. And so people were looking to shop and purchase products on TikTok even before we launched TikTok Shop, and we launched the great business that we're in today and continue to grow. So I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you again. Now let's get into some of the good information about why social commerce is here and here to stay. I think that, you could see the stats here. 4 in 5 people are likely to buy on social media if they've watched a live and participated in conversational commerce. I think the other piece of this, the 1 in 3, is really the key to this. It is about entertainment. It is combining entertainment with community, with social media, and ultimately shopping. And so I think that it's important to know that we're trying to bring entertainment and bring content to life in order for people to purchase products on the platform. And as sellers and as brands come on the platform, they reach a whole new audience. And the opportunity is, I think, bigger than anybody had expected in such short order. I think we're all used to very traditional commerce, omni-channel, e-commerce, but already in 2022 alone, $724 billion have been spent on global social commerce. And then, of course, adding on top of that is the element of live shopping. And so we all know live shopping, or maybe most of you know live shopping from back in the day, whether it was QVC or HSN. Well, this is not your mother's or grandmother's shopping. This truly is live shopping with creators, with brands, with kind of the everyday people on the internet, bringing these products to life and being able to interact in real time with the customer. And we're just seeing tremendous success with that. And I'm sure you all know that TikTok is obviously the leading destination for entertainment, for social. And with that, coupled with commerce, makes us the place to do your social commerce, or what we call also content commerce. So a stat that I love is that I couldn't believe this. 92% of TikTok users said that they take action after watching a TikTok. And so it's not just for entertainment, which is certainly where this all started from, but it is actually to learn about products, learn about potentially new ideas, become educated on new products and things that are going on in the community or in the social ether. And so people actually take an action after watching a TikTok, which is a tremendous stat, the 92%. And then almost 2.5 times TikTok users more likely than other platform users, and I've come from other platforms, to create a post and actually tag a brand. People feel very comfortable on TikTok being themselves, showing the products that they love, and actually tagging the brand and giving the brand more visibility at times. We talk about reviews being a very important part of commerce, as you all know. Actually having creators and organic shoppers tag products and speak out on behalf of these products is the best kind of feedback we could give to other potential buyers. So What we're trying to do here at TikTok Shop is really, and what we do at TikTok is bringing the joy back to shopping. I think this is what differentiates us. I mean, people talk about the other marketplaces out there, the other retailers, the other, e-commerce, juggernauts out there. We are really looking to bring joy back to shopping. We are really looking for our customers to be entertained. We want them to discover. While we have, and I'll go into it in some of the next slides, we have different ways of shopping. People can shop in different ways on the platform. It really is more about the discovery and about the joy and the entertainment. And so with that, the power comes, from users, right? It doesn't come from TikTok corporate. The power comes from the buyers, the users, the sellers, the small businesses willing to test and try new brands, emerging brands, willing to actually buy products from brands that they may know and already love, but have never tried a certain product line before. And so brands that they see on TikTok inspire them, right? Inspires them to find out about the product, to learn more about the product, to hear from people in their community about the product. It helps them decide whether to make the purchase or not. We know that other websites, and we do too, have customer reviews, which are super important and helpful to build trust in the platform. But seeing it firsthand on social, or listening to somebody describe the product, or the whole "get ready with me" phenomenon, when you see people on TikTok getting ready in the morning and they talk about the products they're using, that just builds the commitment and the trust in the platform, and we've seen huge success. So why TikTok? I mean, we are uniquely positioned to help brands, whether it's established brands already, come across new customers and a new way of shopping, or emerging brands that are just, kind of coming into the ecosystem, that have maybe a niche following, but really want to explode and get their business out there to the masses, or even just a very small business who's starting from scratch. People can discover, right? 58% of TikTok users discover new products. We have a consideration set, right? So not only do you find the product, right? They're looking at the reviews, they're talking to people, they participate in lives. The beauty of a live is that you can actually speak to the seller, speak to the creator, find out more, get your questions answered real time. And then purchasing, I mean, that's the key, right? Conversion. So 67% of TikTok users are likely to buy something while on the platform, right? I'll go back to my original stat that I love, the one I always start with, which is the 8 billion views, which is probably more now, of TikTok made me buy it. So discovery is great, consideration is great, participation, but we all know at the end of the day, conversion is king and queen. And so making a purchase is what we want people to do on TikTok. So I'll share a little bit about how TikTok Shop actually works, right? It's one thing, most of you, I'm sure, are users of TikTok, or know somebody who's a user of TikTok, but what is TikTok Shop? It truly is the one-stop e-commerce solution for driving sales, which is what we want to do, but also for driving brand growth and brand awareness, right? So it starts with the discovery. We have different ways for people to discover products, whether it's, live shopping, whether it's short form video, whether it's creators creating content and links to products. There's all different ways to use the TikTok app to shop and to develop a brand. So here is kind of the ecosystem in kind of one fell swoop. So TikTok Shop offers four different ways to encourage users and customers to browse and ultimately convert and buy, right? That's what we're here for. So I won't go through each of these in detail, but obviously, the most traditional, well, I shouldn't say that, I think from a social commerce standpoint, product links is definitely where it starts, right? You have a product, you run an ad, or you have a creator that you work with, and you ask them to obviously link the product to the ad, therefore driving sales and driving conversion. Live shopping is really a unique proposition to TikTok. We've seen tremendous growth over live shopping. Actually, for Black Friday alone, we had one seller who generated close to $500,000 in sales off of one live event. Live shopping really drives that joy that I talked about. It drives the community aspect and, of course, the social aspect. And live shopping, quite frankly, builds trust because you can interact on a real-time basis. We have our shop page, which is very much like a traditional shop page, a product detail page. You can shop by brand, as you can see here. And of course, we have fabulous brands on the line with us that work with us. But if you're already a fan and a follower of a certain brand, you can shop that brand. And then, of course, we have what I would consider the most kind of quote unquote traditional retail approach, which is Shop Tab. So if you go on your TikTok app, right at the top, you'll see a link to shop, and you can shop like you would pretty much on any other e-commerce website or app, where you have top deals, you have a top brands feature, and then of course you let the algorithm, that crazy algorithm kick in, and basically share with you products that you may like based upon your recent searches, your organic searches from TikTok, and so it's really curated for each individual. And then ideally the conversion is seamless, right? That's the goal, is to create a seamless experience for buyers and sellers on the platform. The checkout is on TikTok. Therefore, you don't have to go offsite. Buyers know what they're getting. They know where to go, and everything happens in one-stop seamless shop. I think, this we talked about, it really is about bridging the gap. We know that people spend hours upon hours on TikTok and discovering new products, new brands, new features, new creators. And so it really is, how do we get from discovery to purchase? And that is all about the content. Well, it's not just about the content, but the content is what we talk about a lot here at TikTok, right? Just a static, ad or a static PDP page is not what our customers necessarily are looking for. They're looking for unique content. That is the value that we drive. And so we need great content. We ask all of our brands and sellers to create great content. It doesn't always have to be live shopping. Short form video is another great way to do it. But we want our buyers to be able to discover through different avenues, through different lenses, ultimately to make a purchase. And that closed loop checkout is very important. It removes any friction, right? So the closed loop, platform is really important to convert high intent shoppers at the moment, right? The goal is that we have an audience that has a lot on their plate, a lot of options, not a lot of time. And so creating that closed loop allows us to make sure that we get the conversion right away. And so, I wanted to kind of close my quick presentation here on the fact that it works, right? We just launched this a few months ago. I am, as Derek mentioned, newer to TikTok, coming by way of Meta and many other retails before that, but it's already performing. It's already showing signs of tremendous opportunity for brands and for partners. And so here are just some of the quick highlights that we're ready to share of just this Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Again, we have been in this business for only a few months. So saying that I've been doing this for 30 years, I can honestly sit here and say how impressive these numbers are for only being in business for 4 months. But we saw tremendous record-breaking sales, obviously on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We've seen an uptick in, the content, whether it was short form video or video views. I mean, 2.51 billion video views. We know that video and live content is here to stay. And then, quite frankly, we continue to bring new sellers on board, new buyers on board every single day. And so there's so much choice, there's so much uniqueness, there's so much richness. And the ask for the folks on this call is to continue to bring great products, great content, work with partners like NetSuite and Pipe 17 to continue to develop and grow your business, and continue to test and learn, and continue to reach a new audience on TikTok Shop. So with that, please join us. There's a lot of information out there. Here is a call to action. If you go to shoptiktok.com, business US, you will find all the information, all the education, all the tools you need. If you haven't started already, start. If you're already on shop, like our friends at Manscaped or ColorWow, there is still great new information out there. We put new information and education tools up constantly because we're evolving, we're growing, and we want you along for the ride. So join us. Thank you.
Marnie. Thank you so much.
We've
got a quick question for you from our CEO, Mo.
Arnie, first of all, thank you so much. That was fantastic overview of TikTok Shop. So I know one of the questions customers always ask us is, how's this going to be different to the Meta journey? Because many of them got on Instagram or Facebook. How's it going to be different?
Yeah, no, that's a fair question, and that was a question I had when I joined. And quite frankly, how it's different is really, well, one, first and foremost, I think that the customer that we're reaching, this demographic of, call it 18 to 25, with, highly disposable income, is a cohort of buyers, quite frankly, that is unique to TikTok, that others are desperately trying to get. And we are very fortunate that we've built this ecosystem, through organic, that we have this customer base. That's one. Two, how it's different is the closed loop system. I think a lot of other, certainly at Meta, this closed loop, open loop, right, debate back and forth. I think that the most important thing to all sellers and all brands is that conversion piece, right? So it's great to build brand awareness. We want to do that. But if nobody buys the product, that's great that they know the brand, but they're not ringing the register, as we used to say back in the 1900s. We need them to ring the register. And so the closed loop system allows them to do that much faster, much quicker. And of course, we can then retarget ads to those folks and get that flywheel going. And so that's a unique proposition, certainly. And quite frankly, we're building this for the longevity. We believe in commerce. We believe this is the future of commerce, is content commerce. And there's no richer, better content than on TikTok.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Marnie, thank you so much. We'll let you go as I will bring Mo on stage to introduce our panel. Mo, go ahead and take it away. Bye,
Thank you so much, Marnie and Derek. So really excited to have a great set of panelists with me today. So both covering kind of the brand angle as well as the infrastructure angle. So with me is Jimmy Liao. So he's at Manscaped, and I'll be asking him some questions first. And then Frank Ryan, who's at Oracle. So he'll be kind of telling us a little bit about what he sees, talking to many customers. And then we're also going to have Jeff and Amber from ColorWow to talk about their journey. So with that, I'm going to dive straight in the interest of time. So Jimmy, welcome. Great to have you. Frank, welcome. And Jeff and Amber too. So with that, Jeff, Jimmy, I'd love to ask you, tell us more about Manscaped. What do you guys do? How have you guys built an amazing product and business?
Yeah, so over here at Manscaped, we are essentially a men's grooming company, right? So we noticed, years ago that, there's all this money being spent on, women's grooming, women's cosmetics, and there was this large open white space where not enough people were talking about and creating men grooming products. So that's where we saw the opportunity. That's where we dove in, and a couple of years later, here we are. Nice big 9-figure business. Yeah.
Fantastic. So tell us more about your social strategy. I know you guys have been pretty big on kind of social commerce in general, and also kind of maybe obviously touch upon TikTok and that journey.
Yeah. So when you guys take a look at our social strategy, it is one of the lowest friction, easiest ways to talk to customers, right? So you think about traditional media, you think about, TV ads, radio ads, they have to go through all sorts of approval processes. Now, when you talk about, body grooming and specifically, manscaping, sometimes that is a little bit difficult. With social media and, social advertising, you're able to kind of get some of the barriers out of the way. This allows us to talk in a more authentic voice to customers, specifically about, the areas where we normally won't talk about. It allows us to reach out to a younger set of customers, and a more specific set of cohort that we want to target. So we look everywhere for that. We do it on, yes, Instagram, Facebook, but also specifically TikTok. When TikTok first launched, we leaned very heavily in because we realized that TikTok has a unique voice. If you guys notice, the content on TikTok, it has a very unique look and feel, like nowhere else before, right? It allows us to essentially flex creative muscles that won't necessarily work on other channels. And then it also allows us to sell in a unique long form, which is one of the best ways to educate a customer. Yeah.
Fantastic. So it's the education and the reach that are really key. I guess, can you touch upon the results you're seeing? I know obviously it's still pretty early on the TikTok journey, but in general, kind of and maybe touch upon how much of your business is social, and then what early results are you seeing with TikTok Shop?
Yeah, so TikTok Shop, I think we approached it a little bit differently. So we started off already before we launched TikTok Shop with about 500,000 followers. So we already had a massive base, right? We spent time, we nurtured that, we built that up. We got really familiar with their ad programs and everything else. And then we launched TikTok Shop. In fact, we launched it on November 1st. The results that we've been seeing is it is actually one of the fastest growing channels that we have. From a revenue standpoint, not very large because we have built, very, very strong, mass marketplace such as Amazon. We're already very strong on content-driven commerce like BuzzFeed and through Hearst. So from a relatively percentage point, it's very low, but in terms of percentage of growth, it's actually quite high. TikTok, I will say this. You guys have wonderful reps. Marnie, I don't know who trains them, but they're not only knowledgeable, they understand exactly how to leverage the program, and they are very keen on making sure that you launch correctly and specifically unique to your specific product category.
That's fantastic to hear about the support. So for those who are like looking at doing TikTok Shop, what advice would you have for them?
I would say the main thing is authenticity, right? And not just that, leverage all the tools that TikTok has. TikTok has a ton of tools. And, what's nice about it is you could try almost anything, right? Obviously, don't do anything obscene or crazy, but there are a lot of ways in which you can engage your customers within TikTok. So, organic video, live, advertising, all sorts of different things that you can try. And right now, even we only launched for a month, we're still testing things. There are all sorts of these opportunities within TikTok that you can use, and all these tools and video and styles that you can use to try to see how you can convert customers. I mean, I don't really have a set answer, but I can say, one thing that has proven successful for us is our live stream. We did a live stream, kind of a QVC style, and it was relatively successful. I can't do that on other channels. Other channels do not have this capability. Yeah.
I think that's a huge thing, the power of the live stream. I think people who are not familiar with the platform don't realize there's an entire ecosystem around leveraging the live stream in order to basically do commerce. And as you said it, I think you said it perfectly, which is think of QVC, but perhaps for the modern generation in an app-based profile, not in a TV-based profile. So Jimmy, thank you so much. We'll come back to you in a second. So I'd like to introduce Jeff and Amber from ColorWow. So welcome once again. Great to have you. And I love that the shelves back there with the products so we can see it and hopefully feel it. So with that, Amber, to you first, I'd love to have the audience maybe get to know ColorWow a little bit better.
Yeah, ColorWow is a hair care brand. We were founded by Gail Federici, who was the co-founder of John Frieda. We focus mainly on problem solution hair care, really trying to solve the women's problems and men's problems that are unsolved out there. We launched with our Root Cover-Up product, which is in the Allure Best of Beauty Hall of Fame. And then we launched many stylers after that and care products, including Dreamcoat, which is our hero product. We are backed by global ambassador Chris Appleton, who does many celebrities' hair, Kim Kardashian, Jennifer Lopez. And we have this kind of perfect synergy with TikTok because we're really known for kind of our instant transformations. And it really fits in that TikTok education entertainment space. And we actually have a video that kind of perfectly sums up what I just said.
Fantastic. Very good.
Just 1 second while we pull that up. If you want to go ahead with it.
Cue Derek.
Here it is. Here it is. With sound, optimize for video. Sorry, guys. Can you see this all right?
Yes.
Start it back over.
Here, let's test the power of this viral anti-humidity spray by ColorWow. I washed into one side, I'll apply the product, and the other side ain't getting nothing. The directions say to really saturate your hair, so that's what we did. I popped open my blow dryer to activate, and this is why you can't just blow dry curly hair, but we fixed that. Now it's time for the test. On the side without the ColorWow product, I went round and round, up and down, and as you see the wavy frizzy pattern, it popped right back up within minutes. I did the same exact round and round, up and down to the treated side, and not a single wave or frizz, which actually shocked me. I even did the water drop test and they rolled right off. All I can say is wow by ColorWow. Good luck.
That's amazing, Amber. I won't ask you how do I get hair that's that rich and long, but
Use ColorWow.
Use ColorWow, exactly. Look, building up a following on TikTok Shop is clearly key, and I think you guys have done an amazing job. So if you could talk a little bit about the formula that you've used, and obviously we know that you guys were also live in the UK with TikTok Shop a while back before they launched in the US. So help us kind of understand a little bit around how you think about that.
Yeah, do you want to talk about the UK first?
I can shortly talk about the UK. UK launched back in 2022 in May, and within the first 8 months, they increased their sales tenfold, which is like ridiculous. The TikTok shops continue to grow through 2023, and each month seems to get better and better. We're looking forward to 2024, certainly. A lot of the processing that they did was a bit of a manual effort in which we integrated with Pipe 17, obviously behind you. Thank you very much. And we just actually went live in January of 2022 with NetSuite. So we were taking on two new processes that we had no experience in, and both have been rewarding in their own ways. The automation of TikTok processing has made it a lot easier for the UK and for the US, to process orders and to have real-time inventory updates, which we were missing before we did the integrations.
That's fantastic. Yeah, connected systems are definitely key, and having inventory source of truth.
Very much.
Without that, it's hard to sell in multiple places. So Amber, I guess let's chat a little bit about the following, which is how do you build the audience so that you can drive commerce?
Right. We were live on TikTok for quite some time before we launched the shop. So we really built that following with posting regularly. We have an amazing community of influencers that we rely on heavily, that we sample to. Like I said in my intro, ColorWow was all about transformations. So really the key for us is getting products in influencers' hand. And Marnie touched upon it in her presentation as well, that people love to talk about products that they've tried on TikTok. So especially when you see a product or you try a product and it makes a big difference for you, you're going to post about it. So that was really how we focused on growing our following. And then when we launched on TikTok Shop, we leaned into the layers that were already working for us. So influencers were already working. There's an amazing affiliate program through TikTok Shop. We onboarded influencers that we'd already worked with. We started an open plan to get more influencers that were wanting to work with us and try our products in exchange for product. And you can also set up commissions for those people. And then we focused on live streams. We built this amazing little set behind us, and we went live as much as possible. And I think that that's really key. TikTok has Seller Center available where you're able to look at all of your metrics, and it's very detailed down to the different kinds of things that you could play with on TikTok Shop. And we just looked at it and tested and learned and tried to get as much information and lean into what was working.
Well, that's fantastic. So I guess, what advice would you have for people who either are early in the journey, maybe they don't have the audience, or they're early in the journey and they do? What advice would you have in terms of like best practice? What should they be doing to accelerate this amazing new channel?
I think the key for success on TikTok as a whole, I think, is focusing on content. Create really compelling educational content, entertaining content that people want to watch. Your content will go farther if it's entertaining. And then, like I said, look into all the different things that you can do. There are so many things that TikTok has available. Work closely with your rep. Like Jimmy mentioned, there's amazing reps at TikTok to find out what you can do and what abilities you have, and lean into it, test things, try things. Don't be afraid to try different things, as long as it's, within your capabilities, and then see what works and do more of that.
That's fantastic. Experimentation clearly we've seen as key. So we'll come back in a second because I know the audience has some questions. So with that, I want to segue to Frank. So hi, Frank. Welcome to the webinar. So good to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Fantastic. Absolutely. So Frank, obviously you've been at NetSuite for a while, and we see NetSuite, very, very, very often within the whole e-commerce and retail ecosystem. Why is that? What is the success driven by in terms of customers and partners and the entire ecosystem?
Yeah, I mean, we've been very fortunate to work with a number of amazing retailers, e-commerce companies, ColorWow and Manscaped amongst them. So we appreciate you. I think as simple as it sounds, it comes back to inventory management. The challenge, the pain that a lot of these customers come to us with before they go into NetSuite is I don't have visibility into my inventory. I don't know what I have available to sell. And as they open up new channels, that problem compounds. So, we're able to help there. And by, connecting the back office to the customer experience and creating that kind of single platform, we can help companies scale and take advantage of these opportunities.
Oh, that's fantastic. Look, I think, some would say that certainly this year has been a little bit challenging for some brands. And, when you talk to customers, what are some of the trends that you're seeing in terms of how they're looking, towards next year?
Yeah. I'd say there's brewing optimism, which we're excited about. So, the conversation is definitely returning to growth, and it's not growth at all costs. It's smart growth. And so whether an organization is looking at, a hyperscale opportunity like social commerce, and more specifically TikTok Shop, or international expansion, a new product offering, outside funding, that conversation's picking up, or all of the above, right? They're looking for ways to grow, but they don't want to increase cost, right? They really need to control cost. And so they're asking us for help in creating that efficiency, that automation on the back end. And, that's where we shine.
Absolutely. And certainly, in these kind of opportunities, it's always the case that if you automate, not only can you sell more, but you can actually save a lot of money. Yeah. So with that, thank you, Frank. So we've actually got a bunch of questions. So I'm going to just kind of pick a few of them so we can ask. But there's one general one, which is for the entire panel and whoever wants to take it, which is, what is your advice for someone who has lots of inventory and ad money? Which is, I guess, for Jeff and Jimmy or Amber. Spend money on ads and drive to shop, or gift products and use affiliates. What have you seen work better?
I think you have to do both.
Okay.
I would split your budget between both.
Yeah. Not every strategy works for each brand. Depends on what you're selling, right? So if your product is compact, easily explainable, have, affiliates try to sell that for you. Otherwise, I would just redirect the money into ads.
Interesting. And then a related question, which is, what is the panelist's advice on staying on brand and testing content on TikTok? Right? Sometimes, on brand doesn't work, and the team's uncomfortable with stepping up to test different styles. So this is actually a channel, which is the experiment. Like, I don't know who wants to take that one.
Sorry, what was the question again?
Testing content, I guess. So this is kind of the A/B testing. Yeah, exactly. Which
different
is,
kinds of content.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to stay true to your brand story, but maybe attack it from different angles. Like if you have a product, I would take different points about that product and try different ways that way. I think it's easy to stay on brand when you have a core statement like, we're about transformations, like for ColorWow. That's like our core brand statement. And then you attack it from all the different angles of the product.
Okay, good. So live is clearly a big part of the TikTok experience. So there are a couple of questions around, what do you need? Do you need a certain level of followers to make TikTok work in general? And then specifically with respect to live. So in other words, do you have to build the audience first? Can you do it in parallel? What do you guys think?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to have a very invested audience before live will be successful. Part of the reason why we held off on live until we had a big following was for that reason. One of the things about live is, one of the strategies that we did was we teased out that we were going to do a live, right, to kind of generate some buzz and following behind it. But yeah, you definitely need a big audience. You can't just go live. I mean, your first one will probably just have a handful of people, if that's the case. Make sure, people are invested, and make sure, they're teased and excited about it. That's what I would say.
And don't get discouraged. I would just add to that, like, the more you go live, the more viewers you get, the better you get at it. So just keep trying different things and keep going.
Good, excellent. Another related question is, let me see if I can find it. Are you running TikTok ads or promote coupons? The questioner is saying we're seeing better results with promote. What do you guys see? Okay, I guess that's the answer.
I think they're totally I believe they're totally different things. Like like the promote coupons, we use them in our live streams, we have a coupon for a certain period of time, and just in our shop in general. And then the ads are whatever content you want, TikTok shop or not, running for ads. So I mean, I would do both, but I am of the try everything and see what works best for your brand.
I absolutely fully agree with that. I mean, earlier I mentioned TikTok has a lot of tools, right? So use them all, see what works, what doesn't work, and just test. And then they're also releasing new features all the time. So, maybe today it's promote and ads, and then tomorrow it's something else that they discovered works, right?
That's fantastic. I know there's this, so one of the questions actually touches upon, and this is kind of, I think, partially a technology issue, which is the 1 hour PTS cancellation policy, right? Which is kind of, how do you address this? Clearly technology is a part of this. But yeah, it would be good, either of you, to answer that, or any of you.
Yeah, and I can take that one. Yeah, I mean, they have an hour in TikTok to cancel within the system itself. We integrated with Pipe 17. So when a customer creates an order on TikTok shop, immediately comes into Pipe 17. We have a setting that I've personally set at 90 minutes on top of that. So if anyone wants to cancel a little bit after that, nothing's been sent to a 3PL or one of our shipping solutions, or to NetSuite for that matter, which makes it a lot easier to cancel it before it gets into your ERP or shipping solution.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. I guess you do a similar thing, Jimmy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and
perfect.
we also use Pipe 17. I mean, it's seamless. Yeah.
So one final question. I know there are a lot more questions, and hopefully we'll be able to get answers to them. But there's one about agencies, right? So clearly, there are these TSPs that will, do a lot of work with you. But what is the role of agencies been? And what is your advice for folks who are looking at whether they should use one, shouldn't use one, etc.? I guess if you don't use one, you don't use one.
Yeah, we currently only use an agency for customer service, which is helpful because we have a smaller customer service team, and we wanted to make sure we weren't not answering our customers, getting any sort of violation. So that has been extremely helpful for us.
Yeah,
got it.
Yeah, we don't use agency over here. Everything's in-house. So, we hire the right people and, let them run wild.
Okay, fantastic. And we do see many customers use agencies, early on at least. I think people who have more experience of social commerce or probably will, like you've done, Jimmy, kind of hit the ground running. But there are folks who probably need a bit of help. Okay, and final question on the tech stack. So I guess just kind of maybe 30-second answer. So, Jimmy, what are you guys running top to bottom on the tech stack?
Top to bottom, specifically for TikTok shop, is, we go TikTok to Pipe 17, and then we have Amazon, MCF fulfilling our orders. I mean, simple as that. It was the fastest setup I've seen in my goddamn life. Nothing complicated. It was super seamless. Yeah.
Fantastic. Very good. And then Jeff and Amber.
Yeah, ours are a little different. Like I said earlier, we just started with NetSuite back in January of 2022. So when we had TikTok Shop, we had the choice of kind of going to do it through Shopify. We decided to go the Pipe 17 route, which orders go from TikTok Shop to Pipe 17 and almost simultaneously to NetSuite. And in the US, it goes to ShipStation, which we use. We have our own warehousing. And on the UK side, it actually goes from NetSuite directly into a 3PL. So our models are a little bit different, but both work very well so far.
Fantastic. Very, very good. So with that, I'd love to thank the panelists. So thank you, Frank. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Jeff and Amber. So with that, we're actually going to make a little bit of a segue. So thank you, guys. And hopefully we'll be able to get the other questions answered from the audience.
Thank you all.
Fantastic. So with that, I'd like to welcome Asad. So Asad is the principal industry expert at NetSuite, specializing in retail and e-commerce and all things related. I think he's constantly looking at industry trends and, given that NetSuite has a pretty big customer base, figuring out where the industry is going and what customers really want. So welcome, Asad.
Hey, Mo, how's it going over there?
Excellent. Fantastic. So firstly, look, some people know about NetSuite, not everybody does. So tell us a little bit about NetSuite briefly.
Absolutely. I'll give you a little bit of a background on NetSuite. We'll get started with that and what NetSuite does. So NetSuite, if you look at it, was the first real cloud company. We started our journey about 25 years ago. And since then, we have grown both in numbers of our customers and across our footprint across the globe as well. We operate in over 217 different countries in 190 plus currencies. We have about 37,000 customers that are utilizing us for many different areas of their business. And just to give you a little bit of how fast and how quickly we're growing, we added about 6,000 customers last year, and we're on pace to beat that number this year as well. One more thing to mention over here would be that of those 37,000 customers, we have a number of customers that belong who would be very relevant to this conversation today with TikTok Shops and NetSuite. A ton of our customers belong into the area of what we'll call is apparel, footwear, and accessories. So if you're an apparel brand, anything with accessories, footwear, that's exactly where we work really, really well. Similarly with health and beauty. So we see a ton of our customer base comes in from the health and beauty world. This could be nutraceuticals, vitamins, makeup, you name it, we have customers in that. And also generally in retail and with a lot of consumer electronics as well. So we have a very, very wide variety of customers that we have helped over the course of time. And I think the second part of your question, Mo, was what does NetSuite really do for those customers? If you look at our if you look at our footprint, we're really a suite of different products a customer can utilize to help their day-to-day operations of their businesses. So we'll start off with the basic accounting. That's what we are known for. But not only that, when we talk about Pipe 17, we talk about TikTok Shops, one of the big things that our customers really look at NetSuite for is helping them with their inventory management side of it. Where does that inventory sit? How much inventory do I need? Where do I go procure it from? We manage all of those processes for them. Similarly, we help them out with the order fulfillment side of it. If you need to manage your customer, get customer information right and all of that, we have a CRM solution around that. Similarly, if you want to know how much you should make, how much you should buy, where you should sell, channel analysis, for those things, we have multiple different kinds of reports that are available to them, along with forecasting and budgeting tools as well. So all in all, NetSuite really is a all-in-one solution that can help manage businesses with their order to cash processes, procure to pay processes, record to report, and anything in between that falls under there. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of idea who NetSuite is and how we do it for our customers.
Excellent. Yes, absolutely. That's fantastic. So I guess kind of similar question to the one I asked Frank. What trends are you seeing within the retail space, direct-to-consumer space, and omni-channel specifically?
when we talk about that, that's a big question. So I'll try to go over different sections, or it's just going to be a big merged answer for us. So you guys will have to have fun with that part. When you talk about the big trends that we're currently seeing in the marketplace, is the channel diversification. At the end of the day, all of what we're seeing from all different retailers and brands is they're trying to go and look for customers and trying to meet them where they are. Back in the days, it used to be at their physical stores. It advanced then into websites and their own web stores. Then it advanced into more of marketplaces. So we saw the rise of the likes of Amazon, Walmart, Etsy, and you name it. There's a bunch of others that are there. What we're now seeing is the rise in social commerce. So as we saw from the folks that are talking at TikTok, is providing them with that experience in an arena where they're already hanging out. So TikTok shops right now, TikTok in itself, the platform has a ton of traffic. That's a great way for our retailers to go in and monetize that traffic for themselves and let the customers experience their products in there. Along with that is what we're seeing is brands going in and trying a new strategy for themselves, maybe doing some product testing. Back in the days, if you remember, we had the A/B testing world. The social commerce really takes it to the next level for us over here, where you used to have two different sites, which had a lot of overhead, a lot of work required. Right now, you can get very, very easily find two affiliate marketers, provide them with the same product and see which one works out better. So that's one of the strategies that we see a lot of retailers trying to try out on their part. Similarly, trying different product lines, going in and seeing which product works better in which market segment. So that's one of the things that we're kind of seeing also on that part, in terms of what the trend is. And the last thing I'll say on the trend side of it is what we're seeing is what's the reincarnation or the latest incarnation of what omnichannel is. Omnichannel, which used to really be the multi-touch point approach, is now the multi-channel approach. See, kind of put yourselves in the shoes of the customer, right, or the consumer. As you can tell, I'll probably be a better customer for Manscaped than ColorWow. Not a lot to color here, but if you kind of look at that part, right, when I'm buying something, I would love to see, like, for me, Manscaped is the product, right? Where I purchase it, am I purchasing it on their store? Am I purchasing it on Amazon? Am I purchasing on TikTok? For me, I'm looking for the product. I'm looking for it to be the right price for me. I'm looking for it to be delivered to me correctly. I want to make sure if I have any questions about the product, I can easily get back to them. So omnichannel is really extended into the realm of social commerce. And that's what brands are really focused in on, is to provide that consistent journey for their customers. And whenever they need to reach out to them, they're able to provide them with what they're reaching out for, be it the product, be it a service, be it an answer, be it returns, whatever that needs to be.
And we hear the same thing, which is kind of that connected commerce experience, and thinking about it holistically across every channel, whether it's, bricks and mortar and, obviously web channels, marketplaces, and of course now social channels like TikTok Shop and other. So I know, Asad, you wanted to kind of run through a quick kind of demo of kind of how easy it is to get all these orders flowing from TTS to NetSuite. So with that, share.
Absolutely. I think I still have about 4 minutes left. So I'm going to try to go through this as detailed as possible. So the key thing we've been talking about today is selling on TikTok shops and then being able to go in and fulfill those orders. So when you kind of look at a couple of different things, right? The key thing, what are the two key things a seller is looking to do? A seller, in this case, we can take the example of ColorWow, or we can take the example of Manscaped. Is there are two functions that they're trying to perform. One is quickly fulfill that order. And once that order is fulfilled, is the second part of it is going to be able to reconcile and recognize from that revenue. Obviously, there's a few different steps that happen in between. This being only 5 or 6 minutes, we'll try to skip a few things, but I want to kind of get us through that day. So we'll start our day off here in TikTok Shop Central. This is where we'll be able to go in and see all of the details around the orders, right? So if you wanted to go in and just track through a singular order. For today's purposes, we'll be looking at this singular order that's coming in, which is numbered 57654, that got created at about 9:01. Now, think about it, right? If you were not using Pipe 17 and NetSuite at the back end, the way that this would really work out for that seller is they would export this order out of Seller Center, then go in and import it into their WMS or send it over to their 3PL. They would go through a bunch of different fulfillment activities. Once that activity happened, they would then go in and send that information back to Seller Central. The Seller Central would send the order settlement report back to them. They would ingest it. Once they ingested it, they would then go in and go through the process of reconciling and recognizing at that point. And God forbid, if there was a return to happen, they would have to redo all those reverse steps. So a ton of different steps that are manual that have to take place at that point. But if you were to move forward into our next slide over here, what you'll see is this order just shows up in Pipe 17 for us. This is where the power of automation comes into place. So if we move forward one more time, and this would be our central dashboard on Pipe 17. If we were to go into the next slide, we see that order has now arrived. The order really becomes available, and excuse me, and thank you for pointing that out. Available in the next minute for them. And from here, we kind of go through that routing process, something that Jeff had just mentioned on the ColorWow side. Similarly, Jimmy mentioned on the Manscaped side of it. We kind of put that order through the quarantine process. The quarantine process in this case allows TikTok Shop allows a customer to go in and cancel that order, change that order, or whatever they want to do to the order in the next hour. That's exactly what's happening at this point. Once it goes through that quarantine period, it is now going to be available for us after this into NetSuite. NetSuite is again a very quick search with the same order number, you'll see that is now available. Now, this is your order or sales order screen. This order screen is, as you can see, it's setting in the pending fulfillment status. It's bringing in all of the other relevant information as well. It's telling me what the subtotal for the sale was, what the tax applied, what the sales channel was, and all of the other details there as well. The key thing to remember over here also is we're seeing the GL impact. We did skip a few steps over here in terms of the whole fulfillment steps for you. Again, those are just the pick, pack, and ship things that can happen. And it could be different for if you were to send this order out to 3PL for the fulfillment side of it. The key thing that we wanted to showcase over here is that once the order is in NetSuite, you can go through the shipment, you can go through the fulfillment steps, and then you can record the GL impact of this transaction and have the right chart of accounts get impacted with that. This is some of the areas where a lot of customers tend to struggle with before they start with NetSuite is how do you allocate the sale to the right accounts? A lot of them actually do manual work. And seriously, especially when you're looking at a sale for about $12.30, you want to try to minimize the hands-on approach at that. And this is where NetSuite, with its workflows, with its right allocation to the right accounts, really comes into the mix where we can really impact the right areas for us at the right time without having to do many manual steps there. Once the fulfillment happens, we can then send back the information back to TikTok Shop Center. This is where they can go through, update the order information, also update the end consumer and where their order is, when it's being fulfilled, when it's being shipped, and all the fun stuff that needs to happen with that. So hopefully that gives you a very quick view on how the order originated, how it got fulfilled, and it did the right impacts for you across the way.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Asad. So with that, I wanted to thank all the panelists and hand straight back to Derek to close off the webinar.
Really quick, I know we have a special offer here from you, Asad, if you want to just walk through how more people can get in touch with NetSuite.
Absolutely. Derek, definitely want to mention that NetSuite is definitely hitting the roadshow on our part. You can experience NetSuite in real time in many different cities across the board, as you can see on the board on the screen right now. We'll also be at NRF about a month and a day from now. I will be there myself, so please do come by, talk to us. We can give you a lot of good details on that. And one last thing I'll mention on the next slide, you'll see that we do have a free business assessment. If this is something that you're interested in, please click yes. We will do the follow-up for you. We'll go through your business. We'll help you evaluate not only NetSuite, but also the other areas in your business where we can create some synergies with us, along with bringing in some efficiencies for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Asad. Thank you, everyone, for walking through that presentation. The value is just like that's 20 people's job if we don't have this process down, right? So I love seeing automation in place, and I think that workflow highlights it perfectly. Asad, I'll go ahead and let you go as we get into our closing segment here. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, really quick, everyone. We're going to end that poll. Thank you for participating in it. I just want to give you a quick blurb on Pipe 17's connectivity hub so that you understand a little bit about us and when you might want to use us. Now, of course, you've just seen how Pipe 17 is powering order operations from TikTok Shop to NetSuite, but that isn't the only thing Pipe 17 does for merchants. Pipe 17 aims to solve this problem across all selling channels as you expand fulfillment partners. We heard, TikTok Shop UK, regional fulfillment partners, and so forth and so on. And as you expand financial analytics and back office needs. We like to think of Pipe 17 as a turbocharger to the other tools in your e-commerce operation stack. As you add complexity, we ensure you stay out of spreadsheets and keep your data sources talking to each other in real time. As the complexity increases, more things break. We often require more human resources, we were just talking about, and all the problems start to bloat up. There's an alternative to complex, developer-heavy integration platforms like iPasses, and it's Pipe 17, the fastest way to prevent bloated order operation costs, reduce click-to-deliver times by literally up to 50%, and get you live selling with new channels, as Jimmy told you earlier, faster than I think he ever said damn expected, right? Something along those lines. You've seen the case studies, we can tell you how we got Rip and Dip live on TikTok Shop in 15 minutes, but we're out of time. I can tell you how many merchants we're empowering to streamline these processes, but the gist of it is, if you're interested in learning more about Pipe 17, say yes to the poll on the screen or go to pipe17.com/book-a-demo, and we will give you a gift card to either Manscaped or ColorWow for attending your first meeting with a Pipe 17 representative. That is the pitch from me. Thank you guys so much. Again, the recording of this presentation will be available for you tomorrow. We'll send out an email with a link to it. Thanks so much for attending. I really hope you crush it on TikTok Shop. I want to see your team be successful there. And of course, if you ever need anything from us, from NetSuite or TikTok, don't hesitate to reach out. You know where to find us, pipe17.com.